The most important part of dance is music. So now let us listen to the music and identify the beats.
1, 2, 3.
But that was too soft.
What the fuck is that? Whatever. Okay. Okay. That's connected. I was annoyed. My YouTube wasn't connected. I was like so confused. That should be fine. I'm literally doing like social posting right now. So. Okay. Okay, that's all connected. I need to like social post a little bit. And I hope I linked the correct YouTube page. I'm trying to like get through everything I haven't done in ages. It always takes me like a minute. Okay, good. I'm glad everything's correct where it needs to be at least. Hold on, wait, is Twitch connected? Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm literally like my what do you call it? I've spent like the last 2 weeks with like a kind of busted leg. So like I'm sitting down now. My leg hurts like hell, man. But it's fine. It's fine. Society will forgive me. I have no idea. I don't know. I do know what happened, actually. I'm saying I have no idea. I went to the gym. I had a pretty intense gym session. I came back and my legs just hurt. And like, that's it. That is the sum total of information I have about why this is happening. I have no other information but that. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was like over exaggerating how unrelated the pain is. But I went to the gym, felt great, did a stretch, felt great, came back, pain. Woke up the next morning in pain. No clue how or why that happened, but it did. Hey, Rosie. Yeah, I mean, I should be fine soon enough. I feel like I should start streaming on other platforms, but then I have to stream on freaking... I'm not going to Rumble. I guess Kick? I'm not going to Kick. I like myself enough to not go on Kick. Right? Like, that's what you're supposed to not do. Guys, would you hate me if I went to kick.com? No, I would never go on Kick. I actually hate it over there. I'm like not built. Okay, cool. Words and Pictures is coming up. I'm still trying to organize like visuals and stuff, but and like certain people, but like this year's Words and Pictures is shaping up to probably be the best one so far. Although it probably won't have all the money I want it to have, which is, you know, really a me problem. It really is. It really is a me problem. And I can't just get over it. I mean, just make one. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the biggest or the longest one. Just make one. I have like a really weird story today, and that almost seems unrelated, but it's fine. I'll make it make sense. And if I don't make it make sense, I don't know. You guys can like question me and hate me forever. But until then, you guys are probably gonna think I'm a weirdo when you see what's on the main screen. Actually, I don't like that image being where it is. I'm gonna just even a one pager counts. This is about making. It's about reminding you to make and making sure we make more. So there's never such a thing as too few comics. For us at least. Hello, Ferns. Oh God, the Windbreaker fans have arrived. Fern, I didn't know you were a Windbreaker fan. That's so unfortunate. Okay. All right. All right. Fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. I shouldn't be swearing at the beginning of a stream. Oh, by the way, chat. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this here and now before the stream starts. The worst flavor of Pringles. This is an unrelated argument that none of you are even involved in with my own friends. The worst flavor of Pringles is salt and vinegar. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what anyone in this chat thinks. I don't give a shit what anyone in my life thinks. The worst flavor of Pringles is salt and vinegar. I will take that opinion to the grave. Being right forever. Okay? The single worst flavor is salt and vinegar. Disgusting. Everyone who likes salt and vinegar fucking Pringles are actually vile creatures of the night. I just want that to be known. I want that to be known. I want that to be said. I think society just needed me to say it. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Why are you booing me? I'm right. You guys are fucking insane. Salt and vinegar chips is disgusting. Fucking vile shit that you people put in your bodies. The thing you put in your bodies, you disgusting little freaks. Oh, gross. Anyway, I love you guys though. Now let's get on to the stream. This has no bearing on today's story. This has no bearing. I just needed to start a fight because I'm right. I was. I'm right. And that's just the truth. I don't hate salt and vinegar, but there are flavors way better. No. Almost every flavor. Actually, you know what? Hold on, wait. Chat. Give me like 2 seconds to correct myself. Prawn cocktail is the worst flavor of Pringles, followed by salt and vinegar. Very close second worst flavor. Very close second worst flavor. Prawn cocktail, then salt and vinegar. In fact, really, they trade places often. They're two most disgusting, vile flavors to ever grace this society. These are not back-to-back bad takes. You people are fucking vile and gross and disgusting. Yes, thank you. Cheese and onion is supreme. We're not even doing a Pringles. We're not even doing a Pringles tier list, Cloudy. But you know what? I think we might end up doing a fucking tier list. We might end up doing a Pringles tier list because I can't live with you people coming in here with these incorrect opinions. Weekly, you enter this chat with incorrect opinions. I am getting real life messages from real people I know right now arguing with me about the prawn cocktail. That someone who was in my house moments ago is telling me, acting like I'm fucking insane. Of course not. What the fuck is happening? Wait a minute. I don't understand why you guys are saying unsubscribe like I've said something fucking awful. I've just spoken they hated Jesus because he spoke the truth, and they hated me because I was based. They hated me because I was based. That's just what it is. That's what it is. Cancelled for my own community. Oh, they hated me the reasons they hated Jesus because I was based. Because I spoke the truth. Chat, people, whoever's leaving the chat, good riddance. Fuck you. You come into this conversation talking to me about salt and vinegar chips. Did they just dunk these in vinegar and call it a thing? Yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. Anyway, whatever. You people are fucking crazy. You know what? We're finishing today's stream with a fucking Pringles tier list. I'm gonna lay down the law on my best Pringles, and we're done. You people cannot come into my house, and speak to me like this. Fuck you. Anyway, let's go to the rest of the stream. Quanto, give me like an hour after the stream because I need to because Quanto always does the topics. Bless him, honestly. But I need to whatever. Just do it. I'll just not cut anything. Fuck it. I need to cut the first 50 minutes or whatever of the stream permanently because it's all just dead air, and then we argue about salt and vinegar chips. People can't keep hearing this. They just can't. Anyway, we're gonna start. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Webcomics Hubcast. It's your host, Nenathy. We might have a co-host this month. We'll see. At some point. I might have a guest co-host or, a long-term friend coming over to the stream. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be interesting, it's gonna be exciting. I think it's time for us to talk about a few topics in comics. If you read the tweets, you know what we're talking about today. Plagiarism! Let's go, plagiarism! But also, We're going to talk a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con. I was invited by Webtoon, by the way. I should have gone. I'll probably go next year. Webtoon wants me to do a panel with them. I think I will. I want to do a panel. I was wanting to do a panel. We're going to talk about Omniscient Reader. We're going to talk a little bit about this really interesting app from Korea called Apply. And I'm going to relate that to a different app in the US whose name has completely escaped me. But it was called, shit. It started with like a P. I've completely forgotten. But there's a similar app to Apply in the US, and it's one of you will probably remember because I talked about it on a stream at one point. We're going to talk about Windbreaker and I already mentioned the plagiarism. We're going to talk about Naver's new social media. We're going to talk about Webtoon Wattpad Studios and how it has revitalized from nothing. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about how Legend is now bigger than it's ever been, as always. And we're going to talk about Line Manga and its absolute fucking dominance. Absolute dominance. And every single article obviously will be in the video, and we'll talk about that. One last thing. We're going to talk about subscriptions, and that's going to be the last topic for the day. We're going to talk about that. Anyway, first things first. You guys probably don't know this, but Legend has a French division. Like a lot of Webtoon companies, they have a French division, and they're doing quite well in France, in fact. Well, Legend has announced, as of today, that not yesterday, I think it was like a few days ago, but basically by the end of this year, Legend has announced that they are going to be completely merged with a platform called Le Bon Toon. Le Bon Toon is owned by Delitoon, who is a big French comic company, and they're going to completely merge. I think they're taking over the entirety of which essentially was Delitoon's web division. This comes after quite a tough year for French comic creators, with one of them also starting with a D, whose name I've completely blanked on, having to reduce its operations, I believe, due to a lack of revenue. Anyway, so that's happening. It's a complete merger that went through on the 24th of July and will basically go through completely by the 30th of November. They're transferring readership, comics, everything over to Legend. And that means Legend now is the biggest, is probably the most most actively operating webcomic company in France. From what I can understand, that's the position they're in. With translated content and with Le Bon Toon's, I think, local content, Legend is going to have a combination of content to fight for in that market. Although Legend does have its own very specific market of kind of adultish comics. But that's something to be aware of, and I think it's good that we just talk about this here and there. Le Bon Toon also does 18 plus content, for context. If you're looking at the website, we're on the Le Bon Toon website. Up there is literally an 18 plus. At the top right, if you see the little white thing on the screen, right at the top, in the middle of the pink banner, that's a little 18 plus trigger. So you can turn it on and have 18 plus content. So, their content aligned, everything aligned. So it completely made sense for them to do this merger right now. Let's also move on a little bit over to Line Manga. Oh, wait, no, that's for later. Line Manga. Right now, Line Manga is the top of Japan's revenue rankings for basically the entire first half of 2025. Webtoon's big focus on the Japanese market is continuing to pay off with the fact that Line Manga is making them a fuck ton of money. Remember, we looked into this, and the yearly average spend of a Japanese paying user was about $200. For context, the yearly average spend of a Korean user was like $80, and the yearly average spend of an American user was like 10 or 20. So again, this is a big market where when people spend, they spend big. And if you guys think $200 is not a lot, that's not a lot for yearly luxury content. Japan's economy, while devaluing, has maintained value in a lot of other aspects. So it means the average Japanese person, from what I understand from one or two Japanese people I spoke to, doesn't mean it's true for all of them. But the average Japanese person seems to be living a life where they are spending roughly the same amount of money that they've always spent on rent and on food. And so, really, they have a well-budgeted luxury section with no major rising costs for the average individual. And so they still just have money to spend on comics. As you guys, okay, I want to say something real quick for people who are listening and who are like, Nan, I just want you to tell me information. I don't want to have to think. Listen, you see the way I broke down a different economic thing and another economic thing and explained why people may be able to spend more? You need to be able to do that with all the information on your own. I can't always do it for you. I want to always do it for you, but sometimes I can't. And you need to be able to see things before they happen, okay? I'm saying this to you because I love you. You need to read and you need to think. Anyway, me telling my chat off for not engaging in meta-analysis. Really one of my top 10 moments of all time. Anyway, Light Manga is making a ton of money, a butt ton of money. And so Webtoon's continued focus into manga and its continued focus into even bringing some of that manga over to the English-speaking market makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. And you know, suddenly Webtoon's movement in terms of localizing manga, like we saw with Full Metal Alchemist and the Country Bumpkin Swordsman, makes complete sense. Like it's suddenly trying to piece together, right? Because Japan are making them so much money, and it might be their new hub of content that they can import and have new, fresh content that we've never seen that is also still made by indie creators, which is probably what they're looking into right now. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that over. Okay. That's the like basic stuff. Let's see. There's something I want to talk about. Let's talk a little bit about tracing. There's two articles I have on this. One from YNA Korea, Yonha, they're called Yonha. Yonhao. Oh, there's not this one. We'll get to this one. One from Yonhao and one from MK in Korea. These are both Korean articles. Hey, Buyo. These are both Korean articles about the windbreaker trauma, if you will, the windbreaker tracing, right? Basically, one part of the comic, at the end of part 4, episode 177, the creator acknowledged, hey, I traced. Fuck it. Guys, I traced in my comics and I became impatient because of my deadlines and I failed to uphold my standards, right? He seemed to have traced, from what I can understand, very little, but enough that he's facing shame, right? Which has led to the sudden discontinuation of his comic. And it had, and from someone who said in chat, Windbreaker, I believe, had an anime. Wait, okay. Oh, actually, let me say, there is a gangster anime called Windbreaker. This is Windbreaker, the bicycle webtoon. Okay? In fact, I'm just gonna really bring this together. This webtoon. Oh fuck, it's gone. I forgot. Anyway, it's about bicycles. It's about guys riding bicycles. A guy joins a bicycle club and he gets really obsessed with it. This Windbreaker. This has been canceled. This one. This is actually an incredibly old series. It has been on Webtoon since about 2015 from my memory and recollection. For like, basically, since I started reading Webtoon, I'm an old Windbreaker reader. I don't even like it that much. I'm an old reader. Insane thing to say, but yeah, it's true. I don't like it that much, but I'm a very old reader. But that Windbreaker was accused of some tracing. It's not a big deal. I think tracing, okay, I said this before in chat. Tracing doesn't fucking matter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you think less of me for saying that, and that's fine. I just think in the vast scheme of most creators' work, tracing just doesn't fucking matter. Like, to make tracing even look good, you need to have skill. Like, the worst part about tracing is it doesn't look good if you suck at art. I know this as a person who sucks at art and traced once to see if tracing would help me, and it didn't because I fucking suck. Also, if anyone's like, man, you don't suck, you've never seen my art. Go watch my art streams. I am bad. I'm the most beginner the beginner can ever begin. And I'm telling you, tracing doesn't matter. Is that an AI-generated fucking cover? This shitty magazine. Anyway, I just don't think tracing matters. I think in the grand scheme of problems we have as a community, tracing doesn't matter. And even if the bicycle one has a live action, I believe. I think the bicycle one might have a live action short from like a long time ago, but that's all I remember. Anyway, but like I just want to say, tracing, in my opinion, the grand scheme of things, is not a big deal, especially in a big commercial work where you're working on tons of stuff. Some mild tracing is not weird. I mean this genuinely. Because again, to make it look good, you have to be skilled. And again, on top of all of that, you're not stealing from the person you traced from most of the time. If someone is tracing and then basically making their work look like yours to basically take away your audience, fair enough. I think that's bad. But I think most tracing is somebody in a fucking deadline tracing a cover, tracing an image piece, for like a wider thing where it doesn't matter. I truly mean this. And chat, tell me if I'm fucking crazy. Like, hey, all of you, tell me if I'm crazy. Maybe I'm fucked. But like, I don't think tracing matters. Dev Rhino, tracing is only helpful for people who are moderately good at art, but still don't fully comprehend the fundamentals such as perspective or anatomy. That's valid. In terms of improving you, that's all the only people it's good for. But Dev, like, real talk, and I want you to really hold me to the fire here. If you think I'm full of shit, I'm full of shit, right? Like, straight up. But if you're making a big commercial project, and I'm not saying it's advisable behavior, this is not your first port of call. But if you trace 1 or 2 images just to get through your deadline, is this what we're going to be fucking hooting and hollering about? I don't know. I think it's a little bit overblown. Call me out if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's a little bit overblown. It's almost always deadlines. Most tracers who trace in a non-learning context, I'm not going to pretend like people don't trace to be fucking shitty people, but most tracers are people on a deadline trying to make something look right, who don't want to spend the time working it up. That's my thought. Kiki, the thing for me is like, look, my neighbor, I cut my grass recently. My neighbor's grass is really long. I didn't cut my neighbor's grass. It's completely within his right to feel bad that I didn't cut his grass. Like, but it doesn't affect him. My behavior doesn't affect him. He's allowed to feel upset about it and feel wrong by me not doing that. But I don't think it affects him at all long-term at the end of the day. So why are we pretending like it matters? And Linda is saying depends on where you trace from. Linda, my argument is just like, if you trace from something with the intent of stealing that thing's thunder, right? Like, let's say, Linda, you draw, I don't know, Jace from the one of the anime. What's that one called again with the Arcane? You trace Jace. You draw Jace. And I trace Jace to make a Jace piece, right? Or even to make another art piece that is something you draw, or something similar to what you draw, right? I think I'm a bad person. I think in that context, I'm a bad person. But if I trace something in like a multi-page work with dozens of other images, I just don't think it matters. I don't know. Let me see. I think someone says, Jenko in chat says, I think people should be transparent if they trace something. Yes, I agree, Jenko. I fully agree. Jenko, I'm a big lover of credit, and I'm a big fan of giving credit. And I think we should be able to put a trace this, trace that credit in some people's work. There's no shame in some tracing. It's something like you're making a piece, and like the work is more judged as a whole than as an individual art piece. It is, but in general, I don't think it should be encouraged because we should. Dev Reno says it is, tracing is not that bad, but in general, I don't think it should be encouraged because we should be pushing for each other to learn and get better at drawing. At a certain threshold, tracing is not helpful. Oh, I agree, Dev. I fully agree. It doesn't help you grow. It doesn't help you grow 100%. And Linda is saying, don't trace a specific monster that is from a film. We had someone trace gremlins from a movie as Darklings, and the company would have faced a lawsuit. See, Linda, I agree with that too. I think there's obviously like, be smart, right? If you see a guy on a bicycle, or you see a really good bicycle shot, because this is fucking a bicycle, and you trace that bicycle shot because you think it's a really good bicycle shot, you put it in your comic as part of a wider piece, I don't think it's a big deal. I think if you straight up trace like some guy's tattoo, that's just plagiarism. If you straight up trace gremlins and call them Darklings, I can't fucking believe. Who is this person? Yeah, I agree with Linda a lot more on this one. Copy someone's homework, but change a few things. I think you should change a few things. Someone traced Yoda in a website. Wait, who? Wait, no. I need to see the traced Yoda. I need to see Yoda traced, please. I need to see it so badly. This is like my fucking white fail. No, I think the arguments against improvement are very reasonable. I think the arguments of copyright infringement are very reasonable. I think those are two very good arguments against tracing and how you shouldn't do it. And like, you should be smart when you trace. You can't just fucking steal whole cloth. A creative person that is good at creating will trace and add shit. That's what a creative person will do. If they're on a deadline, they've got things to get to. And I don't think that's bad. I want it to be contextualized, actually. When I'm talking about about tracing in a creative work, my assumption is as a creative person, you're not tracing whole cloth for the sake of pretending like you're that thing. I'm assuming you're tracing a pose, a thing, because for the end of the day, you're just trying to get it to fit, right? Trying to get it to look correct, you know, and like doing it off rip without the subject in the background just isn't working right now. It's 2 a.m. and you fucking suck at drawing right now for whatever reason. You're exhausted, you're tired, and you just need to hit a deadline. You need to hit a deadline because you need to be ahead of your buffer so you can take a vacation this year. Like, that's the kind of person I'm talking about, to be clear. I'm not talking about like a Twitter artist stealing your shit so she can do fan art of frickin' Spamton. Like, I'm not talking about that. Oh, somebody in the Discord just traced you. No, why didn't nobody ping me when this happened? Why didn't nobody ping me? Also, Clip City has models you can freely pose and people trace over that. Yeah, like people trace over lots of shit. Like, from what I understand, the tracing wasn't a big deal, but it was over something popular. That's why it got traction. Briar Production says, I don't know, I think if you're bad enough at tracing that it's easy to recognize and you get called out, that's the risk you take. Okay, you know what, Briar? Fair enough. I agree. If you were bad enough at doing this task, that's a risk you take. Fair. Like, honestly, fair. I can give you that wholeheartedly. Like, tracing is good in order to speed yourself up from, but Briar's made a good point. He probably did it badly enough that he got recognized, which is true. It wasn't like a lucky recognize from like one obscure person. It was popular enough that it got his whole series canceled. So it must have been very recognized. Because we can't see it anymore because it's been taken down. No, Brian, like, honestly, valid, correct. He's a moron. He should have done it properly. Like, he seems like a nice guy, but he's a moron in the way he handled it. And I'm sorry that his comment got cut short, because that's not fair. And because, okay, the reason why the tracing thing is something I'm talking about so much is, one, I have a big beef with people who get mad about tracing. I really do. Like, this is an early content thing. Back in the early days of my YouTube channel, right? If you go to my YouTube channel, one of my earliest streams that I started doing solo was about tracing. Okay? So like just people making a big deal over tracing. And like it grinds my gears so much because like this is like season 2 content I'm talking about. Where is it? Where is that tracing video? Some of my thumbnails were more exciting. There it is. This one from 3 years ago. Fuck me, it was 3 years ago. And it was about plagiarism in the call to action. Somebody did some tracing. It was so stupid. It was just of a pose as well. It was of a pose of a free pose, whatever. I don't have time to get mad about it. At some point, if you draw something enough times, I feel like it's faster to draw versus tracing. Tracing is mostly faster if you draw something you're familiar with. I agree, Django. That's actually quite true. I'm unfamiliar with most things and it helps me, but when I draw something once, I don't need to trace anymore. I buy model pack stock photos for reference in my work. I think it's a win-win for artists, support models, photographers. Those image materials you buy meant for reference and tracing. I agree, yes. So we're all on the same page here. I think what we're experiencing is what you're saying, you know, maybe he shouldn't have been so bad at this. Because if he got caught, he did a bad job. He just did a bad job. Which I agree with. And it doesn't help him improve. We should be trying to improve as creators. We should be. That's just the thing. But this person was a professional not thinking about that. And also, Windbreaker looks really phenomenal without it, so I don't even know why he bothered. The other part of worrying about tracing is to understand like what this means. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about legitimacy. I talked about this like 2 years ago. Most of my old-time streamer watchers will know this. Will know this, but like I'm of the big belief that webcomics is in a legitimacy game right now. It still is. Legitimacy is hard to get. Webtoon is basically giving us the most legitimacy as an industry. It's proving to people that we can make money, we have value, it's not some underground group of nerds, and there's nothing wrong with an underground group of nerds. I just think that all of us deserve to make a little bread. And underground group of nerds does not incentivize bread making, usually. That's it. That's all I wanted to say on that part. And so because we're in a game of legitimacy, I think that one of the reasons why his comic got taken down is because it undermines the legitimacy of the industry. If we let somebody who seems to be plagiarizing from the perspective of other art forms, seems to be plagiarizing in some way, if you let a person go free, it delegitimizes our industry somewhat. And it matters right now with our falling revenue and expectations as creators. It is bread tubing. It's like bread tubing, but funnier. No, like it affects the expectation of the average creator. It affects the expectation of the industry for it affects the expectation of outsiders for this industry, right? Like outsiders will be like, oh, if they're okay with plagiarism, then like maybe they're not serious about making money. Maybe it's all plagiarized content the whole way down, and that can cause some issues for the flow of cash into an industry. I think it's also important to recognize that like a little bit of what's happening here is they're just picking someone to be mad at because they're trying to avoid the conversation about whether or not the AI comics that are on Webtoon and some of the ones that Webtoon and Naver are talking about greenlighting or speaking to are also committing some level of plagiarism. You know, that's also in the conversation, and I think that's part of why this is being taken so seriously, to prove that like when they have confirmed plagiarism, they will do something about it. So don't think too hard about the AI comics that are coming up. I think that's part of it. I'm not saying it's like some kind of conspiracy, but yeah, that's it. Tracing for practice and learning is one thing. Tracing for professional work or clout is another. If you're doing it to the deadline, you better not get caught. But I do agree that suspension is overkill. I agree too. I think it was overkill. I think it was a bit much. Because, okay, since I started streaming, Webtoons have gone from a like $640 million industry to a $2 billion industry, of which $1 billion of those dollars is just Webtoon. No, that's a joke. But the global Webtoon market is like right now in the $7 billion range, of which, seriously, $2 billion of those dollars is Webtoon, right? And so I think it's very important to project a certain air of legitimacy and seriousness, because it kind of allows other industries to buy into our deal. And when we develop IP, it allows them to buy into like, hey, these people are going to develop something and it's going to be original and there's going to be no issues investing in it and putting money into it. No one's going to sue us down the line that we stole their idea, you know? And that's important for the industry as a whole, not for individual creators. Hey, Celeste, what's up? You done trace comic but not AI comics? It's complicated. It really is complicated from the perspective of the business. And I don't mean that like to say that they're good people trying their best. I mean that to just say their incentives are all over the place. And so they're trying not to show their hand too obviously to any one side until they're sure that AI content either is unequivocally going to make money or not make money. By the way, I just want to say something real quick. I almost forgot about this. I say almost forgot. I definitely 100% forgot about this. Guys, it's been Investor Relations Week across Silicon Valley. If anyone's going to be like, Nan, is the Webtoon quarterly report out? Okay, let me check. Let's see. No, the quarterly report. No, it's not out yet. Webtoon's quarterly report is not out. They have a 2025 proxy statement, but there is no quarterly report out yet. It should be out at some point soon. It should be, but I don't know. Anyway, why I'm talking about this is very important. Okay, let's switch it back to the studio. Let's talk. So I've been listening to a lot of investor report conversation. I've been listening to ones from things like from things like Microsoft and Google, et cetera. And there's a very continual trend across almost every investor report, including Tesla, by the way. I listen to basically everything in what's called the Mag 7, the top 7 companies in the world, and also listen to the investor reports of one or two smaller ones. And one of the consistent conversations I'm seeing from investors, and I'm not talking about small investors like you and me, I'm talking like big investors, major investors, is the question of, hey, it's really cool you spend all this money on AI, but when are we going to get the money from that? Like, when is it going to start making return? Investors are asking the question, and that's big, because they were happy to fund AI to the moon because they believed that AI was going to make the first trillion, bajillion, gabillion company, right? But now that it's not making money and a recession is on the horizon, or at least an economic downturn is on the horizon, they are getting antsy. And they're also wanting to see returns sooner because they spent well over $1 trillion on just AI. Just fucking insane. Insane. They want to value the French company Claude at $150 billion. I'm going to kill myself. Anyway, why I'm talking about that is AI is beginning to sour it with investors a little bit. We're going to see how long this effect takes to propagate, if it will ever propagate. But understand that like you're going to see AI being spoken about less and less. In fact, one of the things that really turned it around for me in terms of what investors were expecting, there was this video for one of those shitty investor cons where everyone just goes to kiss ass, right? And one of the headline investors they invited to talk on the stage was talking about startups and who to invest in. And she said, really, if you have a solid product and solid users and you have a solid plan, I don't care if you have AI. That's for context, by the way. At these investor cons, saying no is not a thing people do. It's always yes and. They yes and. This is every investor conference, every investor like event is literally fucking improv class. Okay? It's yes anding. Someone will come up and literally say, and that's why I think Big Dildo is gonna save the universe. And the next guy's gonna come out and be like, yes, I think Big Dildo could save us. And I also think that there may be other ways around other than Big Dildo, and then list something they actually want to talk about. That's how they talk, right? They don't say, I don't care about Big Dildo. They never say that, ever. So it's weird, right? Okay? It's weird for them to say that. Doesn't help that it was a woman, and I believe that she is currently being harassed. But whatever, we move. Anyway, I just had to explain that, and it really soured the mood. I'm sorry, gang. I don't mean to make you sad. Sometimes stories just are sad. Anyway, so we finished talking about this angle. I would like to bring up a very minorly important topic. Gang, can I ask you a question? Did you know that Webtoon Wattpad Studios is back? After gutting the company, after gutting that part of the company so they could go public by cutting costs, Webtoon Wattpad Studios is back, baby! It's now called Webtoon Productions. Webtoon Productions. In fact, let me just put it on the screen. It's now called Webtoon Productions, gang. Webtoon Wattpad Studios is out and Webtoon Productions is in. It's now being headed by a man called Dave Madden. He was previously the head of global entertainment at Webtoon. A man named Maximilian Joe, the most fucking anime-ass name ever. He's the general counsel for Webtoon Entertainment. And the new VP role and head of strategy. He was the general counsel and corporate secretary, but now he's the VP and head of strategy for the global IP business team. And finally, Tina McIntyre has been named the head of Webtoon's newly formed consumer goods division. Okay? I'm bringing all these things to you to understand that Webtoon Entertainment, Webtoon Wattpad Studios becoming Webtoon Wattpad Studios becoming Webtoon Productions is Webtoon's basically new way of saying that from now on, not only are they going to be importing their Korean media over to the English market, they're going to be making new stuff with hookers and booze for us, okay? And they're going to try making even some other stuff that we can buy casually in the store, right? So they can, as they say, our platforms are a staple of Gen Z culture, and our entertainment teams are working with some of the most exciting voices in Hollywood. We have hits on every global streaming platform, and people all over the world know that Webtoon means incredible content and passionate fandoms. Our rebrand as Webtoon Productions highlights our global Webtoon brand, signaling the incredible format, creative voices, and world-class IP that makes up our ecosystem. They're going to make some shit and they're going to make money from it. And they want to make sure that you know that they're going to make a lot of money from it. That's what they're saying in there, right? And they're all reporting to head of Global Webtoon, Young-Soo Kim, YK, who I think is head of Global Webtoon. Yeah. I don't know why I forgot who YK was. Anyway, yes, they're all reporting to YK. And how do I put it? To understand the kind of talent that's coming in, Dave Madden was once the president, was once a high member of AMC Networks and president of Fox's television studios. And he was the president of 8 Entertainment at Fox's broadcasting company. So he would have greenlit stuff like greenlit stuff like Simpsons. Like he was in charge of that kind of shit, right? So this guy's got chops. Dave, as the head of productions, got chops, and everyone else in this team has chops. I think if you look down, you'll see every other role that they've had before, right, in this article, which I'll link in the description. But yeah, this is a big move for Webtoon. This is a big move after firing everyone in Webtoon Wattpad Studios and hiring a bunch of new people. This is the direction that they want to face, the direction of making IP. This is the thing I've been talking to us about on the stream. The idea that Webtoon wants to become what's called vertically integrated. If anyone who doesn't know what that means, it means they want to write the stories, draw the comic, make the TV show, make the movie, make the merchandise, all in-house. No external studios, no partnering with Netflix, none of that shit. All in their own space. And in fact, to allow them to do that and have this kind of like all-encompassing vertical environment that you can engage with them the way you engage with like Apple products, Webtoon Naver is including doing this. Let's call it the streamer pipeline. It is the streamer pipeline, really. Naver, on top of doing all of the things that we just talked about, they're launching a new SNS means social network service for context. They're launching a new social network for English speakers for the US market called Thingsbook. Okay? It's strict focus on the US market. They want you to read webtoons, get the fucking emojis. They want you to get the emojis from the Webtoon app, use them in their social media service. They want you to go from there to their video service called Cuts. We talked about Cuts last stream. I don't know if you guys remember that. We talked about Webtoon's new venture, Cuts. So they want you to watch the video on their platform. They want you to read the comic on their platform. Look, these names are not all final. Don't get too deep into that. Okay, these names are not final. They'll change the name at the last minute. But they want to go to their Webtoon TikTok. They want you to go to your Webtoon messaging app. They want you to go to your Webtoon social media platform. They want you to go to the Webtoon platform to read stuff. They want you to go to Yonder, the Webtoon-owned book service, to read your web novels. And they want you to again go on their own Webtoon Netflix, Wetflix. All right, it just dawned on me that I said Wetflix, and it fucking ended me. I can't. They want you to go on Wetflix, okay? And then they want you to go to the fucking YMC Studios, YMC Cinema, and watch the movie. Like, they don't give a shit. They want you to go everywhere. I didn't do Wetflix on purpose, okay? That was genuinely a mistake. I'm sorry. The collectible emoji thing is a good idea, Dev, if it's like 700 different apps interacting with each other. It's a bad idea because of what they're doing it for. It's not that I don't like collectible emojis, but Webtoon wants to have the kind of chaebol industry dominance that they have, that Naver has in Korea. They want that. They want that, but in North America and in every other part of the world. And the thing with that is it leads to enshittification. It always leads to enshittification. Yeah, they'll make webcord if they have to. In fact, they probably already will. When they make this social network service, they will likely use it to bring Line messaging service over to the English market. Guys, I used to use Line when I dated this Thai girl. Okay, like I like Line. Fuck, it's really good. It was better than WhatsApp at the time. It had voice calls before almost all of the apps that like all the messaging apps did, and it like was really good quality. And it's always got better image processing and better emojis. It's what Telegram is now, but like not for drug dealers. And I can see a future where people are using Line, people are going on Thingsbook, people are watching video on Cuts, people are going to Webtoon, people are going to Yonder, people are going to Wetflix, like people are going to the Webtoon Studios fucking movie theater. Like that world is not like impossible, and they would be happy. I mean, a chaebol artist, I'm surprised that a chaebol artist took this long. Let's face it, like rich people get their kids into media all the time. It's not that new. My point I'm just getting at with this is Thingsbook cannot be allowed to succeed. It must fail. That is all. I'm not even trying to be a dick. It must fail. I think it is bad for the market. I think it's bad for everything. It must fail. All right. Can we talk a little bit about something completely unrelated? Here is a service called Ably. Okay, there's a similar service to this, but I'm going to tell you guys what Ably is. Ably is a women's fashion platform where you sell clothes and like stuff like you do on Vinted or you do on Craigslist or whatever, or eBay. You sell the clothes, but by making short videos, make short form videos, or you do short form live streams to sell clothes. There's a similar service in America. I forget what it's called. It starts with a P or something or an I. Naver also owns that service, and they do the same thing. They make short form video and short form and like vertical live streams to sell clothes. Not Whatnot. Whatnot does it too. Actually, that's a good point. But this one is specifically for used clothes as well. It's a thing service that Naver owns also for used clothes. I forget what it's called. Poshmark, yes. Thank you, Dev. It's called Poshmark. Naver owns Poshmark. Naver owns Poshmark. At one point, Webtoon and Poshmark might have worked together. I don't know. But yeah, Naver owns Poshmark. Whatnot, Poshmark, Ably. This like vertical video commerce angle is something that like we need to talk about a little bit. Okay, so back at the beginning of when I was getting into comics, one of the big conversations I would have with people was like, what's Webtoon's biggest competitor? Because at the time it was Tapas, but they were shit. They still are. So I was like, what is Webtoon's biggest competitor? And the conversation I used to have with people, and I mean like influential people in some cases, was that Webtoon's biggest competitor was YouTube, it was TikTok, it was things like that, Instagram Reel. It wasn't Instagram as a whole, it was Instagram Reel, right? Webtoon's biggest competitors, from the perspective of people back then, was short form video platform. Because Webtoon and video, like the nature of streaming services, whether it be comic streaming or video streaming, that they all measure their metrics the same. All of them measure their metrics the same. And that's time spent on the app, time spent engaging in content. That's watch time, right? That's watch time and that's time in app. And the thing is, those platforms pull people away from Webtoon to do other things. It's why Webtoon explored video a little bit and why they probably will explore video more and more to keep you in Webtoon. I think to some extent, Naver's ideal is that Webtoon becomes WeChat. I don't know if you use WeChat. I used WeChat as a kid. I grew up using WeChat from like when I was 16, when I was 19. And WeChat is terrifying. For context of what WeChat is, again, I've said this before on stream, but I'll say it one more time. On WeChat, I can pay for my dog to get picked up and groomed at the groomers using an app through an advert that somebody places on the WeChat app, like WeChat app's Twitter-like section. I can go there, pay for an ad using my card. Then I can call my friend on the WeChat app. I can watch videos on the WeChat app. I can chat to everyone else I know on the WeChat app. I can share everything on there. When I go to restaurants, I can buy things physically in the restaurant with WeChat Pay. Like WeChat is the everything app. It's X, the everything app. No, WeChat is the actual everything app, right? And a lot of services and apps and companies want to become these WeChat, these uni service apps, this one-stop shop for everything. You book your taxi on WeChat in China. I've done that before. I don't want to explain why I was in China, but you book your taxi on WeChat. You do all that stuff on WeChat. WeChat's your Uber, it's your Twitter, it's your Facebook if you fucking use that, it's your eBay, it's your... No, you can use WeChat outside of China. It's your like YouTube sometimes, not always. They still have QQ and Renren and all the other stuff. And Nico Nico in Japan is, I think, accessible in China sometimes. But my point I'm just making to you is that's what WeChat's for. And a lot of these services a lot of Asian apps especially come to the English market wanting to basically recreate that because it gives them an unprecedented amount of control and almost infinite revenue. They can make revenue from processing your payments, to making revenue from your watch time, to making revenue from your read time, to making revenue from your spending money on coins. They can make the coins multi-use on all multiple platforms. They got you. And there's no escape. You can cow talk, you can cow call, you can cow go to bed. They don't give a shit, right? That's how that's how a lot of them want to structure their business. And that's why they try to expand massively into every aspect of entertainment that you might be interested in even slightly. They have control of it, they have your attention, and your time in app goes from 5 minutes to forever. Those are their goals, right? I just want that to kind of be spoken about and discussed because Ably reminds me of the fact that places like Whatnot, places like Poshmark exist And the fact that a lot of the companies that own these places, like really own them, are often the conglomerates that also want to sell you comics and want to sell you anything that takes up your attention time. And so we need to watch out for that. Ably and Poshmark must fail. Whatnot too, because I think Whatnot's kind of ass. They must both fail. Thank you. I've ended 2 stories by saying this must fail. You guys go out and do that for me. Yeah, I'm supposed to mobilize my audience. I'm trying to influence you. I'm an influencer. It was a great time. Oh, yes. The Omniscient Reader movie. I'm going to go watch it. Probably whenever a translated version appears. I think it's everywhere right now. Yeah, I think it's currently being sold to every country. It'll probably come out in English soon enough. I want to go watch the ORV movie really badly. I want to see how bad it is or good it is. I've heard lots of bad things. I've heard that it's not good. I've heard that they changed too much from the manga. I'm sorry, for the manhwa. I've heard that it's not a fun time anymore. Yeah. Sorry, I guess someone sent me a message about something I'm investigating for this channel. Anyway, how bad is the ORV adaptation? Is it like really, really, really shit? I need a 17-word answer to how bad is the ORV movie? 17 words max. Give me a number rating at the end. How bad is the ORV movie? I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. Okay, I just want to talk about the fact that it's getting distributed a lot, which is great for this industry. But how bad? Give me a 17-word answer. Give me a score out of 10 at the end. Chat. I feel like because ORV as a manhwa, I haven't even read it yet, but I read a little bit actually because I had to buy someone's book. But I've read Solo Leveling. I know what the artist is capable of doing. I think the story is from a different person though. Changed so many things that they changed the core themes of the original novel. Okay, minus 100 out of 10. Hey, thank you very much. I love how you counted almost 70. No, not ORV, the manhwa. Oh, the manhwa is good. Okay, so the manhwa is good, but the movie's bad. I should go read the manhwa is what you're saying, but the movie is quite bad. Okay, chat. I'm gonna go read the manhwa and then watch the movie. Maybe I should do like a fucking video on that. I should do a video on that. No, we might still get the animation. The live action just sucks. That happens. We might still get the animation. I'm never gonna get over the fact that we might not get a Lore Olympus anime. Very sad about that. From what I understand, that was in the works. But my sources have all said nothing is coming. Anyway, yeah, the movie's moving to 100 countries. This is still really good for the industry. Hopefully the anime is good. Comic-Con. So you read the manhwa for ages and you only do it now? No, I read the manhwa for you. For context, Momo Gigi. Okay, I don't want to reveal this, but I read the manhwa for you, Momo Gigi. I read quite a bit of the manhwa when you asked me to. And then I just stopped, and it's been a while. I've forgotten everything. But I'm not going to explain all that lore to chat, so I'm just going to fucking say that I don't know enough about it. They don't need to know my life. Man, get you some solid friends, guys. When Gigi bullies me in my chat regularly. Damn. Sorry, you're welcome, though. I'm scared the live action ruin it for me, so I'll avoid it. Just watch the live action. Don't. You're a big lad. Lax is non-binary for a lad. You're a big lax. Just fucking watch it. And then if you hate it, good. Also, lax, I made lax up. It's no one, that's not a real thing. I just said that because that's what I say in my head. Okay. So, chat, let's talk about Comic-Con. Actually, real quick, is Adoraburb in chat? Adoraburb! Adoraburb! Longtime viewer, friend of the show, multiple chatter, Adoraburb, who may or may not be in the chat, has won an Eisner. Well, not Adoraburb. Adoraburb has not won an Eisner, but the Comics Beat won an Eisner. And Adoraburb, longtime viewer, longtime chatter, is a writer for Comics Beat. So by association, they have won an Eisner. Guys, let's give it up for Adoraburb in chat. When they watch this back later on, they'll see all the clap emojis. Clap emojis in the chat, please. Can we get a wonderful congrats, a congratulations? Oh my God, slay, thank you. Yeah. Let's see who else won Eisners. I forgot to look at the Eisner winners this year. Let's look at who won Eisners. I remember something. Hellhound won Best Asian Comic. The Webtoon won Best Asian Comic, I think. Okay. Oh my God, Adoraburb! No, guys, let me just show you where Adoraburb won. Where's it? Best. No, not that. Where's it? It was like near the top as well. Like I've forgotten where it was. Best publication, best journal. It was like a journalism award. Where's it? Best comics related periodical / journalism. Let's go, Comics Beat. I voted this year in the Eisners, and I voted for Hellbound, so I'm happy it won. Anyway, let's get to the part of the Eisners we actually care about. It's near the bottom, as always. Best webcomic, Life After Life by Joshua Barkman. False Knees guy, deserves best webcomic, just does. But the best Asian comic, which was really fucking weird. I need to find this. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? It was like the best Asian comic or the best comic from Asia. I forgot what the name of the award tier is. I always forget what the awards information is. I'm very upset at myself for it. But it was a Webtoon that won it. I just need to find it. God, I'm so annoyed that I've forgotten so many things. Was it like best international comic or something? Best publication, humor, graphic, adaptation. This website is awful to read on, by the way. US edition of international material. Yeah, here. No, this is US edition of international material, Asia. But there was another like best comic. Control F did not help. This website is awful to search. I tried searching. That's why I didn't do it. Whatever. It's in this article. Sorry, Webtoon Hellbound did not win. It was nominated. It was nominated for best Asian comics. Sorry, it was not for best Asian webcomic. Asian comic. This was the wrong year. I just forgot. I was remembering 2023. We're in 2025. I'm losing it. Anyway, my point I'm making this is that this year's Comic-Con, no Marvel or DC announcements that are big. It's all for Webtoons, and Webtoons are trying to take it as they can. You know, not a lot's happening other than that, though. Like, I'm going to be honest, the Eisners are looking kind of dead. I need to go next year. Okay, guys, next year, guaranteed, I'm going to San Diego. I'm going to SDCC. I'm going to do a panel. I'm going to do both of those things at San Diego Comic-Con next year. No choice. I will go and I will do it. I promise you this. I will save all my money to go to New York, to go to California and do a panel in San Diego Comic-Con. Because Webtoon asked me to do a panel. I'm going to ask them if I could do my panel anyway. I'm going to do a panel. I have no fucking clue when it is 2026. But Webcomics Hub 2026 panel at SDCC is happening. What value does it have to me? None. A panel will not get me more viewers. It won't give me more ad revenue. I couldn't give a shit. But it will be funny. It will be funny because I get to just sit on a panel and say really mean things about the industry in front of a bunch of nerds who will come because it's hosted by Webtoon. It'll be great. I can go to New York too? No. I hate going to New York. It's ass. Actually, no, I might go to New York because it's cheap now because Iceland Air. Linda, I know you probably figured this out, but this is for me, you, and all the Eurofrogs in chat. Eurofrogs in chat, listen to me. If you want to go to New York really badly, if you get an Iceland Air ticket to New York, it's like $400. okay? Oh, I don't need to get my own ticket. Webtoon will give me a ticket. Webtoon offered me a ticket and a full pass. It was like $700. They offered it to me for free. So I just need to go. I just need to go. I could have gone last year, by the way, Crumbs. They offered this to me last year. And I said, anytime I want, they'll just give me my $700 ticket. I don't need to do anything. Which I think is hilarious. I don't know why they like me. I'm not nice. But whatever. I need to get back in contact with my contact at Webtoon. Anyway. But no, like, it's going to be fun. Yeah, no, it's actually very nice of them. I need to say this. For all my problems with them as a company, when it comes to the way they treat press, they have always been very respectful. They've always been very respectful of press. Like, always. And they never try to color my story. And they're very direct with me. The press section of Webtoon has, I've said this before on stream, has been very direct and very honest and very upfront and very willing to just tell me, I'm not going to tell you something, instead of making up bullshit. For context of just how bad this is, when I used to talk to Tapas, they would just make shit up. No, it wasn't often. It was like one time when I spoke to a relatively high member of person at Tapas during the Tapas sale. I'm okay with them telling me they don't want to tell me what's happening, or it's confidential, or we don't know yet. That's fine. But they didn't just tell me that. I've not told anyone this information. This was an email a long time ago. They just straight up told me we're not selling. Those rumors are a complete fabrication. And the thing is, I know Webtoon will just tell me I cannot comment on that. And that's fine, because it could mean they're not selling still. But Tapas just lied to me. Like that there was no sale happening. It was never going to happen. So like, I just need, for all my faults of Webtoon, the press aspect of Webtoon is great. I've had zero issues with them, ever. They've never lied to me in my entire life. I think that's fucking crazy to say. But press people lie all the time. And I give them a lot of concession, so they have an opportunity to lie to me every time, and they still don't. I'm like the most lenient journalist ever, because 90% of my conversations are off record. I should be on record all the time unless otherwise spoken to, but I am off record 98% of the time. I hate it. That's why I don't tell you guys stuff sometimes, because I don't have any juicy information I could give you, because I can't legally tell you. I need to hold up to my union membership. I guess you can say Tapas. Demi, jail. Jail for Demi. Guys, let's put Demi in jail. Can we all say Demi jail in chat? Cringe. Tapas tapped out of telling me the truth. Your mom tapped out of telling me the truth. That doesn't make sense. Whatever, I'm going to give up on that one. That joke is dead. Okay. Chat, I'm here to talk to you about something I've been wanting to talk about all day. This is my biggest piece of news. And then we will do the Pringles tier list. For anyone who doesn't know what the Pringles tier list is, I'm not explaining anything further. Anyway, let's talk about Millie's bookstore in Korea. I want to talk about this story because I think it's important to talk about. So there's this reading platform in Korea called Millie's Bookstore. They were basically a web novel platform, and they were a subscription web novel platform. So you paid about 5,000 won, which is $5 a month, by the way, for access to web novels at the time. And then out of the blue, they went Webtoon forward, and they're still 5,000. I think maybe went up to 10,000 won for the Webtoon, but no, there's still 5,000 won for the subscription. Every existing subscriber who was on their 5,000 won subscription got to keep their subscription at that price and get Webtoons for that price. They've gone subscription reader focused. Something I've been talking about on stream for years. And a player that's pretty prominent in Korea is finally doing it. Going subscription forward for reading. In fact, it's one of the things I talked about when it came to the platform I want to make, which is also going subscription forward for reading. Right? Like, I think users, okay, I'm going to get out the paint. Give me like a second. I need like an online paint tool. Online whiteboard. Okay, whatever, let's use this one. Okay. I just want to talk about this really quickly because I think it's important to kind of contextualize, right? So, everybody here is an adult. Most of you are adults who pay for your own shit. So I'm going to try not to dumb this down too much. I'm going to try and focus on the points. Right now, this is the spending power of the average adult, right? I'm going to use a different marker. This is the spending power of the average person with money. It doesn't matter, in fact, their age, right? Right now, the revenue they have, especially if they're American, their spending power is going like this. In fact, sometimes it goes a little like this, right? It's going down, is my point. The direction of their spending power over time is going down. They're losing the ability to spend their money freely. There's more things taking up their place, taking up their money. Like, food is getting more expensive, right? I wrote food with one O. Food is getting more expensive. Bills are getting more expensive. Everything's getting more expensive. So the disposable income is going down. If you have a coin system, like Webtoon's current coin system, it means that like the upward spending of the average person is very high. Like at one point to read all of Girls of the Wild, let's say I had all the money right now, it would cost about $47, $48 on the low end. If I didn't have all the money and I only had a little bit of money every week to buy a chapter, it would cost about $200 to read all of Girls of the Wild, right? That's a Webtoon that didn't have any of the ad stuff. Now, I know there's ad viewing stuff as well, and on top of the coins, right? But that also means you're spending a significant amount of your time watching ads. When you're a kid, that's fine. When you're an adult, that feels like a waste, and you just don't read it instead. You only watch ads for the things you care about the most. I think that a subscription platform, right? Getting rid of all of this, I'm going for a straight flat fee, $5, $10, $16, $20, $2.50. For context, my platform I want to do is supposed to have a $2.50 subscription. That is a tentative price. Nothing is finalized. But having anything upwards of this to like $10, $15 is like very reasonable for most adults. They would happily pay this money if they love reading comics. And for them, that's good enough, right? They would pay $2.50 to $15 and like, that's a fixed fee that they can guarantee will go out of their pocket every month. You don't have to deal with the problems of coins and their escalating prices, right? And I'm talking about that because when people look at this behavior, right, the writers on Millie's bookstore aren't happy. They aren't happy because they think that basically the subscription fee did go up. Yeah, it did go up by about 20%. They think that basically what's going to happen is that one, they will lose a little bit of their money. And two, the unlimited viewing for a single fee reduces the amount of available revenue in the entire industry. It does. Like, strictly speaking, it does. If your user base stays the same, it does. But what is really great about a subscription fee, and I'm just going to go here. What's great about subscriptions is your subscription can increase your user base, even if it's kind of expensive, if you offer more content, which means that when you have a subscription over time, and varying and the amount of content. What will happen, because it's a single affordable price, especially in times of economic downturn, what will happen is your user base will go up anyway, and their reading habits, which I'm going to do in red, will also get more because they want to get the value for their money, right? So their reading habits will also increase. They'll start reading way more stuff. So the readers, the users will start, well, you get more users, you get more of them reading more stuff to increase the value of their content, which then feeds back into them getting more users, vice versa, going back and forth over and over again. I'm talking about this just because I think it's important to understand that in an environment where it seems like a subscription is going to lose you revenue over time, it actually doesn't. For the average creator, your revenue will go up. But if you are always a bottom tier creator not making much money, you will be making less money. That is true. But if you're a mid-tier to upper tier creator, your revenue on average will go up when everything balances out. So it does take time. But on average, that's what should happen. I don't know. Am I making sense? Do I sound insane? Argue with me. I don't know. That's what should happen. And so I think the book, this subscription platform, move by Millie's Bookstore, including Webtoons in it, is a big direction, because if they succeed, it's telling us that the future of paying for comics isn't pay per page, pay or page fee content. It's flat subscription rate across the board. And I think that's the future of comics. And I thought that was the future of comics for the past 5 years. And I've said that on stream as such. But, what do you guys think? Sorry for the econ lesson. Sorry for the whiteboard. But, I'm here talking. I feel really bad whenever I make my chat through an econ 101 class. You don't have to be good at math. I'm just talking. This is mostly on behavior. Do you think, one, subscriptions increase the number of people on an app instead of a price that goes up and down based on the amount of coins you spend? And two, do you think that subscriptions increase the amount of reading that the people do? And three, do you think that having a subscription system will reduce or increase the amount of money available to pay creators? Those are the three questions here, more or less, right? And you can take three of them and think about them, or think about only one. It's your choice. But I think that subscription systems are great for paying for comics. I think that they increase reader habits. I think more people are likely to pay for a sub than to buy coins, like Dev just said in chat. And I think that it increases the overall available money in the space. I just think that what it does is it doesn't fund the lower tier. The lower tier creators just don't make money. They don't make money already with coins. They'll make maybe less money with subscriptions. But mid tier and high tier creators seem like they'll make more money. I don't know. Anyway, I think subscriptions would keep consistent traffic, but you don't know about the money ones. That's very valid. The consistent traffic one, I think, makes sense. A small subscription fee seems to work, at least for consumers. Shonen Jump and VizApp are good examples of this. In total, they both are like $5 to $6 a month. I think that's reasonable. I don't know how much creators make with it. I think the money with the creator ones is the hard question, because I don't think any of us know the answer to that question. I've looked into it and I can't find a solid answer to it. Okay, here's some stuff to chew on for us to think about. I'm sorry for giving you homework, but we're getting homework, chat. So I use Nebula, right? Nebula right now, the subscription fee on Nebula is about $6 a month, okay? Give or take. When I moved into Nebula, when I started using Nebula as a user, I have a lifetime subscription, which was at the time when it was $3 a month, right? When I started using Nebula, it was $3 a month. Now it's $6 a month, okay? Making that clear to everyone. And Nebula splits that entire revenue 50-50 with the creators. In fact, the creators get a straight up 50% of the subscription revenue. All of them do. The remaining 50% is kept for the platform to invest in itself and other content. And of course, a lot of the creators own the platform, so they do also get paid a share of profits when profit sharing does happen. Okay? That's Nebula's whole deal. That's how they make their money, right? And that's how and they seem to be working. They make a lot of new shows, and the new shows seem to be successful. I want that to be known and aware of and spoken about. Is Manta subscription-based? So Manta is really weird. Manta was almost entirely subscription-based until they added a bunch of new premium content. Like, what you call it? What's that fucking one? The one I read a lot. The one with the girl named Penelope, and she has pink hair. I've forgotten what it's called. Whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. That comic. When they added that comic and a few other ones that they acquired, what they did is they also added a gem system on top of their subscription. So you can now buy gems and you can be subscribed, and all of that together is what you'll pay. So see this comic here with the gem on it? You can subscribe, and then also I think you can also get a gem. It won't let me look at the plans without subscribing, and without making an account. I'm not doing it. No. Anyway, so Manta had to go coins to some extent at some point, but that was because they made a big acquisition and they were trying to pay off that acquisition. If you make gentle, slow movements, I think you could just subscription yourself the way forward forever. Forever. I can't talk about Global Comics numbers, one, because they're probably no longer accurate after the amount of time I've been there, but also because I just don't want to reveal their information. But I can say from observation of being there, the subscription was really weird in that users liked it because it gave them convenience, but it never felt like it felt like like I said, it felt like the bottom stayed the bottom, but the mid to upper moved up a little. But like they weren't a great use case because they're a subscription first from the start, and they didn't at the time at least have the user base to make these kinds of big broad scale comparisons. But Manta would, places like Manta would, and I don't have those numbers. But I'm just trying to think about that. I'm trying to put that into the world there because like when I bring these topics up, you guys, I don't want you guys to think of them as homework. I think it's important to have that conversation as a community because eventually this might be what the people who run our community choose to do. This can affect our bottom lines, it can affect our pay, it can affect everything. So it's important for us to think about that. I feel where the subscription model fails is to get the audience without the credit card. So you have a lot of teens on Webtoon who have more time to read, so traffic there is much higher. But it also means that a lot of them don't have the money, basically. I think there's obviously a world where you pair the Webtoon value and the subscription platform value, but yeah, I see you. I'd sub to a comic platform to get access to a good backlog. I hate buying coins, so I just leave and wait a few weeks to continue reading. I think a lot of users do that with the coins. I think they do that with coins for sure. They wait them out. They wait them out a lot. And I think that's affecting revenue long term for our creators. I think for readers, it's creating a worse experience because you have to wait a week to be able to get into a community. And so there's a set number of your users who have a deep connection with you as a reader, as a creator. Because they watched the ad, they paid the coin. And there's another set of your readers who have no connection with you until like a week later. And when they come, they're a little bit late to the story, they're a little bit late to the show. And maybe you as a creator have moved on from that episode, but they are just getting there. And so you have to like emotionally move yourself back to be able to like work with these people. And I think that causes like some kind of friction. I don't think it's a deep friction, but I think it's a friction that's definitely there. That's why I love comics to coins, but I'm saying you lose a lot of audience with subscription. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Linda. You do. You lose a lot of audience with subscription. You will. I think there's a world where you marry the two environments, right? You know, I think there's a way to marry the two environments of free and subscription. But yeah, subscription gets you a much nicer community. That's true. They're a lot less shitty. People are a lot less rude when they pay you money. Oh, gifting subscriptions is a thing that everyone should have as a feature. Like that's an important thing. Gifties are important. Nifty gifties are highly important. And making the gifting easy is also important. Oh, fuck, I just had a great idea. I just had a great idea. Okay, I'm going to show you guys something. So, here is my idea, right? Right now, in the comic space, in any space, when you get a sub, right, anyone gets a subscription. I'm not going to write some sub without the rest of the word because I realize that's going to take it out of context. They get a subscription. The only way to buy a subscription for a friend is to essentially pay money, right? And then make sure they have an account. Otherwise, this is meaningless. They need to have an account, right? But what if instead of doing that, when you paid the money for the subscription gift, right, you just generated a code and you could comment that code anywhere. That code immediately gives them a subscription. Whoever takes the code gets a subscription when they make their account. Because you can obviously still do it the traditional way, but this way, this way, you end up in the comments of places like Webtoon. Because, you know, creator can be like, oh, I'm gifting my audience, like, subscriptions to read my stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, you create gifties. You create gifties in the space. Man, I'm a fucking genius. You know what? Guys, put me up on that. Like, I should get a Pulitzer Prize for this conversation. I'm not gonna. I should. God, my gross business side of my body is reacting. I'm sorry, chat. I had to do that. But yeah, you know, that was just some chatting about the industry as a whole. Want to be okay with that? They can't stop you from posting codes. They can't. They can't do anything to you, frankly. Especially if because you can just change it up. You can, like, let's say they ban a code structure, just change the code structure, like an hour. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of the industry as a whole right now, guys. It's moving. We're moving up. We're getting bigger, and everybody has big goals. Everyone has big goals. Oh, there. Sorry, chat. My bad. I somehow clicked the volume to the bottom thing. I'm an idiot. Anyway, my audio's back. Oh my God, chat. Jesus. Sorry for vanishing all of a sudden. Oh, actually, let's talk about the Global Comics Print on Demand thing before we do Pringle's tier list. Okay. I didn't want to talk about this, if I'm being honest, for a lot of small reasons, but I'll just get to it. I think it's worth getting to at some point. Oh, sorry, this is the old one that we're supposed to do with these people that didn't happen. There, this one. So, Global Comics is getting print on demand going at some point soon. It's happening. That you're doing it with Comic Wellspring. It's not available to everyone yet, but apparently some people have access. Unsure who. Okay, I'm just gonna level with you guys. I think POD is not very important. Personally, I think POD is a valuable thing that industry deserves. But one, when I go to read the POD information on the Comics Wellspring page here, there's no clarity on like the quality of my print, what kind of how it's gonna look, like I have no understanding. And basically, if I want anything different from whatever this standardized POD format's gonna be, I'm probably going to file prep guide. Let's see. This is a prep guide. I tried to read everything I could. I think I read this too. Yeah, they have like stuff like the bleed size or whatever. Where's the paper type? What kind of paper am I using? What's the cover quality going to be? Is it going to be gloss? Is it going to be not? Is this RGB? Okay, so every file needs to be CMYK. Okay, at least it's not RGB printing. Okay, 300 DPI, high res PDF. That's it. That's all I got. It's a bit vague. It's a bit vague. There's not enough information about what the quality of paper is going to be. Not enough information about what the cover quality is going to be. There's not enough information about what it's going to look like. They do tell me that I can have saddle stitch comics or square bound books. So that's nice. I can at least know how my book is going to be bound. But that's kind of it. I don't know. Until I see some stuff out of this, I'm not interested. Until I see some books out of this, I'm not interested. Also, I think the problem with any POD project like this is I would love to see, it means nothing until they have a prominent Global Comics Webtoon, Global Comics digital first comic that's prominent and digital first. Not anything else, like not something that was like reformatted, something that was truly digital first and digital first on their platform and doing well on their platform. Can't be doing well on anyone else's platform. If they take one of those and they get one of those onto print, that's when that project has meaning to me. Because that project needs to then get onto print and then do well monetarily. If it can do that, even if it just breaks even, I'll call it a win. But until I see that, this is not interesting because this is just offering a thing to people who may never use it, who have no understanding of like the depth of this project, have no understanding of whether it could make them any real money. Like when you take off the rose-colored glasses and you get past the excitement, there is no guarantees on this project. for anyone. And I know they don't have to be, but it would be nice to see like at least some kind of like, oh, this is what one of our most successful people are doing. Right? It's how well they're doing. And that's not gonna happen for a while because they did just announce it, and this looks like more like a statement of intent than anything. But you know, when this rolls out properly, which I hope it does, I really do. I hope it rolls out with more than just this, because this is not enough. That's it. Sorry, I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to be a hater. I don't think this product is bad. I don't like seeing things that are not fully developed. It's supposed to be an offer for everyone who posts there eventually. Eventually, everyone should have access to it. But right now, only internally the company has access to it. And then obviously I think maybe some high profile creators have access to it. Whoever a high profile creator is there, I don't know right now. I'm not keeping tabs on them. But that's their move. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. It just feels unbaked. It feels half-baked. It feels like it needs more time to cook. This is just print, no publishing, just print. They will print and they will mail it for you. They will print it, and I think they mail it for you too. Yeah, it's very safe for them, Linda. Like you know, the cynical mindset is that like this is just a publicity thing, but I don't want to believe that. No, I think they do distribution because they mail it for you. I think they mail it for you to the end customer. I don't think they mail it to you. I think they mail it for you to the end customer, but nothing's fully clear. Yeah. Yeah, they ship them there. They print one copy at a time and then they ship them to your readers. The thing is, like Linda, until we know the quality of this print, like freaking Amazon does this. Amazon does this. I think like Amazon does this, and a few local publishers would do like small print runs for most people. Most people actually want to know how many people they're going to be selling to. POD is like useful if you're very popular, you don't care about the quality of the book you're going to sell. I don't mean that in like a mean way. I mean like it just the nature of POD is that if you're very popular and you know that like your readers will read it on whatever paper it's on, it works great. If you're a creator that's very involved in the process of your comic from yourself to the reader, it doesn't really work that great. And I think, you know what, Linda, you're right. It's good to have competition. Competition is good, fundamentally. So you're right. I shouldn't be such a downer about it. I'm being too much of a downer because I'm very doubtful about some things. But I want to see some things first before I can feel confident in the project. And so I'm being a downer. That's my bad. Very reasonable to point out. Kindle self-publishing from the last time I saw a comic on it, which was like almost 10 years ago, was bad. So I don't know what it's like now. I don't know whether they're right. Actually, you know what, Linda, that's a good point. If their prices are competitive, that's big. Like they're competing, if they're very competitive pricing, that'll be good. I'd love to see a project from them. Because 300 DPI means that most manga can't print. No, it can. From what I understand, manga prints at, I don't know, Outcomes in chat. Outcomes. Manga prints at 600 DPI, right? Or am I crazy? Or is it 300 DPI and like only some are 600 DPI? Also, does this have like a size of the book? Like, is the book size variable? Because like some manga need like smaller books. Like you can't print them. You don't want to really print a manga on a book that big. 300 is standard? Okay, Linda's saying 300 is standard. I'm going to take Linda's word for it. Sometimes it requires 600 DPI. Depends on the black and white. Sometimes requires 600 DPI. Okay, so black and white. Momo Gigi's done a lot of printing, so I take that word very seriously. Sometimes requires 100 DPI, but depends on the printer. Printers usually operate at 300 DPI, but files can be 300, 450, or 600. Okay, so like that's not impossible. Some printers might require it, but it depends on your printer. Okay, very much dependent on your operator. All three people are saying very similar things. I'm down with it. These are very experienced people in the realm of printing. and getting their own shit out to the world. So I'm down with it. Yeah. TWS does offer manga size. Yeah, they do. Okay, no, they offer it as a service. Yeah, okay, cool. But I don't know if it's going to be part of this print thing. I'm assuming it is. I'm just gonna assume it is because the platform's got manga on it. So. Oh no. Okay, cool. That's great. Manga size printing, part of the process. That's good. Okay. That's good. That's actually more than what's on here. So I'm happy to know that. That gives me a lot more confidence in the project. This feels like the information that they're putting out is just not enough to like fuel, like, you know, for everyone to really see the big value of it. And because the value is very clear when you say things like, there's already more than one book size available. That's big. IMO. Anyway, guys, let's get into more important project. Oh, let me see. Yeah, make sure to check when we were planning it. It'll be put out in phases, adding more over time. Okay, cool. That's good. Okay, let's go into more important projects. We're going to be ranking the Pringles. Anyway, chat, we're going to be ranking the Pringles. I'm going to rank all the Pringles with you right here, right now. This is very important research for our community. And I am not taking notes for an answer on this thing. First, paprika-flavored Pringles. I've had these. They are ass. But I will give them a C because they're not that bad. Briar has no context for this. Okay, at the beginning of the stream, we got into an argument that I started, by the way. I started this argument about the fucking Pringles because I said salt and vinegar Pringles are disgusting. Salt and vinegar, any salt and vinegar chips, crisps are vile. Okay, I said that here and now in front of chat, in front of God. And so I got into an argument. I said we're going to rank the Pringles, and that's why we're doing this. I'm not fucking wrong. Anyway, original Pringles, that's a B tier. Actually, no, that's kind of a low C. High D. I don't like original Pringles. Low C. I don't like original Pringles. Pringles flame grilled steak. All right, Americans. Is the flame grilled steak Pringles good? Is it good? I've never had it. I'm not going to rank it. Barbecue. Pringles barbecue, easy A tier. Easy. Barbecue Pringles are A tier. End of conversation. There's nothing to argue about. Okay? No one's even arguing, but I'm just making sure I put this on blast. Sour cream and onion Pringles. Easy A tier. Easy A. Easy A. Easy A. Whoever said mid, your mother. Anyway, whoever said mid in chat, I saw it from the corner of my eye. Your mother. Okay? Anyway, freaking salt and vinegar. Oh, disgusting. Okay? Disgusting. Vile. D tier. In fact, sour cream should be S tier. I agree. Sour cream is S tier. Okay? Fuck. We need guys, this is a serious conversation. You people are being fucking animals when you say things like that. Cheese and onion, A tier. I've spoken. Prawn cocktail, D tier. Fuck that. No, we're making a new tier. We're calling this tier sucks ass. We're not letting this go. Okay? Done. I've been going on dates with someone a lot, and they threatened to break up with me because I said prawn cocktail is sucks ass. I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to risk my entire relationship for this. Hot and spicy. I've had it one time. I think it's fine. It's okay. It's better than paprika. All of the Pringles rice. All of them. All of the Pringles rice is terrible. All of them are fucking awful. I don't give a shit. Actually, no, I did like the hoisin sauce Peking duck. Actually, no, that's good. But all the other ones were ass. I remember I ate them. I don't like any of them. Okay? I don't like any of the Pringles rice. I'm just gonna say it now. They use rice flour instead of potato. They ass. Mm-mm. I know better than to eat garbage. Okay? My mother did not raise a person who eats garbage. Final flavor. Cheesy cheese. This is for people who have no friends and no life. Thank you. This is a final tier list. Everything down there is the same images. Final tier list. Done. 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 I'm correct. Unequivocally correct about all the Pringles flavors. I cannot understand anyone who argue with me about salt and vinegar. You're wrong. You're fucking stupid. Like you're an idiot. I don't listen to you. Anyone who likes fucking cheesy cheese, I bet you like vanilla sex too. You're boring. Anyway, I don't even know what that was for. I was unnecessarily angry. I'm sorry. I didn't need to be that mad. It doesn't matter that much. All the haters of Pringles barbecue, fuck yourself. Easy. Original Pringles lovers, for you, because I respect that you would just like the OG, I will put you at a B tier, but I don't agree with this ranking. I think Original Pringles is ass. You like the flavor of salt. What, do you think it's spicy? What are you, white? I need to like stop doing this. This is how I get into fights, like offline. Like people DM me. You know, people still DM me. Like I have like 1 or 2 DMs in my life about the food tier list. Remember the dessert tier list from like 2 years ago? That led to me baking a fucking sweet potato pie on stream. If you've not watched that, go watch that stream. It was pretty fun. That dessert, I've gotten like DMs since about that dessert tier list from other unrelated people. Because I don't want people who like I go on dates with to not know who I am, I often show them my channel after like a couple of dates, right? And so they watch my videos, and the only video they go to is the dessert tier list. They always land there. And then they're always like, why are you so wrong? I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. I've not been wrong ever. Okay? We're gonna do a new food tier list this year. I can't fucking live like this. I'm gonna do a new food tier list, and then I'm gonna make some random food that I've never made in my life because I argue with you guys for too long. Johnny's gonna somehow show up as well. Absolute dickhead. Love him though. That's it. Thank you, chat, for being with me through the Pringles tier list. That's all. Any questions? Any conversations? Anything that happened in the comic industry that I may have missed and I didn't know? Anything that you want me to talk about? That you've always wanted me to talk about? Maybe I should put some time into a stream for. Let me know. Let's talk. Anything now? Any ideas now? Any thoughts? Any prayers? Any questions? The Let's Play anime, I'm not gonna watch it. So I'm definitely gonna fucking watch it. Liku Studio v Naver. Oh, do you mean Line Studio? Oh, Liko. I think. Oh, there's drama. There's drama. I didn't even see this. What's happening? I didn't know there was drama between Liko Studio and Naver. Naver, you fucking piece of utter shit. Naver is mistreating a subsidiary studio Liko through discriminatory practices and cutting their budgets and incentives. That's not unusual. That makes sense. Yeah, no, Webtoon owns Studio Liko almost entirely, I believe. So that's interesting that they are having a thing. Did I give up on drawing my comic? I did not give up, Linda. What happened is a complicated series of trying to finish my job and it not going well. Basically, my last job as a teacher got really, really, really stressful. And I just couldn't stream for a while. And then I had to do other things and live life. And like I've kind of recovered a lot of my life. Drawing streams are coming back. Guaranteed coming back. So I will bring them back and comic drawing will be back and people, guests will be back and I'll all come back to normal. I needed to get myself together as a person. Let's put it to you like this, Linda. I went through that phase of having such a bad time that you don't clean your house. And I just cleaned some of the last pieces of trouble I've been having with the house today. And this started in like February. Okay? Like, yeah, you know, it's bad. Words and Pictures is coming up and I'm very excited for it. Words and Pictures theme this year has already been chosen. The website is probably going to be the most high-tech website we've ever had. I'm super proud of it. And, you know, again, guys, reach out to me if you want to work with me on my webcomic platform that is subscription-based. I don't know. I'm looking for people who want to be on it. You know, I figured my audience is full of creators who believe in me and would like to be involved. So if you want to be involved and on it, please let me know. It's not an exclusivity thing. It's more of a collective you're joining with the subscription platform as part of the collective. So if you want, not to code, this is to like, for people who make comics. It's a collective, the platform as like a point of the collective. This is between me and the creators. The coding and stuff we're handling internally, entirely. Even if it's slow, I'd rather work with the people I currently got. So, you know, if the way I'm looking into some funding options, so I might be able to get some money to really launch some stuff. And I have some ideas of what to do around that. So that'll be fun. I'm gonna put myself in a good position to not lose money and go bankrupt or anything. And if we fail, we fail. But I really do think we could do well. The Spanish comic seller won an Eisner. The Akira Comics. Adorable. I need more details than that, man. Can I get a link? Yeah. But I think, like I said, subscriptions are very important. I think there's my idea of the future of comics is a subscription platform, the non-exclusive publishing contract with the creators. The platform acts as a location for more premium and difficult content. And the platform acts as a location for stuff that is usually going to be censored, right? And where the platform acts as a location where the creators can basically hoard their most prominent, their most fervent supporters, give them access to discounts and future benefits in all the other projects they want to work on. So that's going to be fun. Oh my God, you need to DM me that, Adorable. I need to go read into this. I guess I'm going to be emailing people in Korean and DMing people in Spanish. That's going to be fun. ¿Cómo estás? Muy español is shit. I don't know any Spanish. I don't know any Spanish at all. I do know ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Yes. La biblioteca. My kids always have an answer to this in my school because we teach Spanish in my school. That's fun. And I think the future of comics is a non-exclusive publishing contract where creators are publishing on Webtoon and other places. The subscription platform acts as a place for more difficult content, more high quality content that is that's specifically for that space, right? And launching off new stuff for creators and working on marketing and getting other IP development opportunities done. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, this is gonna be a fun next 2 years of my life trying to start a platform. Imagine it doesn't work. I would cry. Genuinely, I would cry if it doesn't work. I would give up for sure and I would tell you guys directly, but I would cry. I would cry so hard, man. I didn't even want to do it, but I had to do it because I think it's funny. I think it's funny to overwork myself. Hey, look, if it'll be funny if it goes bad. And if it goes well, we'll all be probably lower middle class. That'll be awesome. I'd love to be lower middle class with you. Oh my God. Feel great. Feel great. I didn't even know that was happening. That should be the tagline. Become lower middle class with me. Together we can rise from working class individual. From lower class, from the lower working class, the lower middle class. We can do it, all of us. We can stop worrying about our rent eventually. Big aspiration. I have big aspirations all the time. I never have big aspirations. I feel like there's a friend of mine in my life. I think I know exactly who it is, who knows what I'm doing right now and thinks I'm a fucking idiot. They don't think I'm gonna fail, but they think it's stupid. And I should just like have my peace in my life and stop giving myself extra work. I know exactly who she is. I can already see her face and her arguments and her anger. And it goes, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Guys, thank you so much for being with me on another lovely stream. I'm sorry for not being around for the last 4 weeks. Remember, I will always be here to help you stay creative. Please give me money on patreon.com/Webcomics Hub. Too many people, too many of you have been joining. It's free patrons. And that's fine, frankly. I haven't posted Patreon-specific content in a while. But you should be joining as paid patrons. Please. Please. I need your money to pay for bills. Thank you for this. Thank you for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll be back next week. I'll try not to miss any weeks. My next stream, I'm probably gonna do it with some dogs. Probably. My next news stream, at least. My next news stream is gonna be with some dogs. Because I've been hanging out with 2 dogs lately called Minnie and Marshall. And they're quite funny. They're quite cute. And so they'll probably be with me on stream. We'll be sitting together on camera. My dogs, literally 2 dogs, 2 literal dogs will be with me on stream. I'll probably be outside when we stream. That'll be fun. Look forward to that. The next news stream. Not the next stream in general, but the next news one. Okay, that's it. Okay, bye. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Good morning. Goodbye. Goodbye. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like. Remember to share. Remember to send it to your friends. Blah, 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 blah. Goodbye. 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 You're all short. Thank you.